Hello everybody and welcome back to CryptoLiveLeak. My name is Ken Garofalo and we are here live at Delta Summit 2019 in Malta. We have the pleasure to speak with today Gregory Klumov of Stasis. How are you doing today, Gregory?
Very well. What about yourself? How do you find sunny Malta?
We're loving it so far. Everyone's been so welcoming to us, and the regulatory environment is really what gets us most excited about Malta. I'm assuming you as well.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not without some issues and challenges, but it's good that we are progressing.
Yeah. So before we go into your background, give me a little bit of an explanation of what is your project, what is Stasis?
Sure, stasis means in physics equilibrium and stability, where all forces are equalized. So this is what we do with digital assets. We make sure their value in digital world equals the value in the traditional world of the collateral they hold behind.
Okay, and so we're dealing with a euro-backed stablecoin, EURS. And this is the sixth largest stablecoin in the market, and it's the leading euro stablecoin.
Yeah, exactly. So we launched it more than a year ago out of Malta. And the reason for that was because I was an advisor for Maltese government for the legal framework that was created, and we had a lot of support from the Maltese government and Maltese parliament, Prime Minister himself. So this is the evolution of the e-money regulation that Europe invented 20 years ago.
Wow, that's some great insights into your background. So you actually helped draft the current regulations here in Malta. Besides that, what is your educational or professional background before you got into that?
Sure, I was into hedge fund business. I managed complicated trading strategies, including derivatives. And before that, I created an ISP, Internet Service Provider. So I'm IT/finance guy myself, and always loved markets, traded markets. But in 2008, I was obsessed with global financial crisis and the monetary response that global central banks gave to it. So I was starting looking for an exposure, how to hedge against it, how to bet against it. And then naturally Bitcoin came along. So I was watching Bitcoin, continued to working in the asset management industry, and at some time I decided to switch because I saw the significant opportunity in this market, because I think it's a true member of liquid alternative market space, and something like a stablecoin is a good start to begin with, because it's like a first step, first bridge for institutional capital, retail capital to try digital asset.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's get into a little bit of explanation on how you collateralize the stablecoin itself. So is it a one-to-one ratio, or are you over-collateralized? How does that exactly work?
So for now, it's always one-to-one. We keep the exact amount of cash reserves to the tokens we issued, and we set the standards of transparency on the marketplace, because we are the only firm on the market who is audited by a global audit firm, top 5 audit firm, and the only one who is audited on a weekly basis. Audited and verified, all our balances are verified on a weekly basis and on daily basis. So we want kind of to bridge the gap between what blockchain offers, like on demand. You can transact on demand, right? And we want to provide transparency on demand as well. The same as blockchain provides, basically, on-demand transparency, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable. You don't really see many stablecoins following that model. I know you have Tether, which a lot of people know, and everyone suspects they don't have the reserves, right? So you guys are doing that on a weekly basis, auditing your bank accounts to make sure that the amount of EURS that's issued is backed by the amount of euro in your account.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, Tether was the inspiration I got to proceed with this project, because I just wanted to make it right, transparent, and legitimate, so institutionals can be trading this asset, and they feel natural for them in terms of the quality of the asset.
Right, and so now let's get into what happens to that collateral when it's in those bank accounts that you have. I know that's how stablecoins actually, the companies themselves make money. Sometimes they get interest off that collateral. What is the model that you guys use?
So one of the values we bring to the table is that we can extract yield out of the negative interest collateral. And this is a little bit complicated maybe for an average user or average person from your audience, but we have licensed financial intermediaries in Europe who have different regimes working with the cash they have. Say, European financial regulation is more advanced than US one. In US you have like commodities, securities, money service business, and that's it. In Europe there are things like brokerage companies, payment institutions, which are allowed to target global markets, allowed to have multiple currencies, and allowed to do collateralized lending against liquid assets between their clients. So we have a solution to store money with a central bank type of an account. It could be from even 1 million. We could offer that a white label solution, but of course that will charge negative interest. In our contained environment, our custodians just pay us some small interest, but it's definitely nothing to go after. To an extent, we are subsidizing this experience for now to get market share, get market exposure, and creating this bridge between digital assets and institutional investors in Europe.
Yeah, that's excellent to hear. And so I want to know a little bit about how you issue these EURS coins. Is it something the retail investor can participate in, directly giving you fiat and then they get the coin back, or is this higher level institutions only?
So this process involves some paperwork and some costs involved. So if retail wants to purchase whatever amount they want, they're free to use one of the 20 or more exchanges we are trading at. We're happy to work with institutionals and high net worth individuals who can transact in 1 million plus tickets, but the smaller amounts should go through payment institutions and brokerage companies that we partner with.
Okay, yeah, thanks for explaining that. And so what kind of compliance is needed, and how do you guys stay compliant?
So we are not required by law yet. That's probably the next step. But we take compliance very seriously, and we inherited all the procedures that a brokerage company in Europe requires to do. So Category 2 financial license from Europe for a brokerage company requires to onboard people in say a specified manner. So we inherited all that and replicating that across our client base.
Okay, and so someone might ask, okay, it might be complex, but there is a way that your collateral is earning interest. Can that ever be distributed back to the holders of EURS? Or may that have changed the designation of your coin? I guess you are currently labeled a non-security asset.
Yeah, exactly. So this is still the ongoing process, but currently if you start distributing some revenue or some proceeds to token holders, you can be classified as a security. So we specifically mentioned in our research we conducted across the world about digital asset regulation globally that this is the new thing. This is not a security, not commodity. This is something that requires either a sandbox environment or a new classification environment. We're happy to send this book for free to regulators and interested stakeholders who can participate in improving global regulatory framework. You just have to email to book@stasis.net. It's very simple. Your address. We cannot send a digital version. We can send physical. So if you want, we can get. But the point is, the regulation system has to evolve and to create, an environment for this digital asset to continue to exist and to be available for a wider audience. So when that evolves, say e-money 2.0 in Europe, I think that is what we are pushing for. That will simplify things significantly. For now, it has to go through financial intermediaries who are licensed to face client, who are licensed to open accounts or facilitate some money movement for a client, etc.
Excellent. And so next question would be like, how does that redemption process work? So I hold a bunch of EURS coin, but I want to go ahead and get the actual euro. So how would I redeem that?
Again, everything below million we will send you to participating exchanges and participating parties. There's plenty of liquidity on the market. We have 32 million issued so far, and the daily trading volume is around 1 million, give or take. There are also some OTC desks as well, which we don't see the volume, but you can easily be quoted 100K, 500K. It's not a big deal. If the ticket is higher, yeah, please come talk to us. We'll facilitate the transaction, but there is some paperwork involved.
Okay, and for the retail investor, the smaller guy, there is a way for them to redeem as well, right?
Yeah. So we will be launching the interface for a small guy, for a retail guy to work. It will call sellback. So it's not actually redemption because the coin price is fluctuating around parity. So it's not necessarily 1.0000. It may be 1.002 or 99.9999 like 7, because there are some market forces behind it, because it trades against Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. But it's very close to par, so nowhere near like even maybe the whole process will cost like 20 basis points, etc.
So close, but not exactly par. Okay, and so now you mentioned earlier that you actually helped draft the Maltese Regulations for their blockchain and innovation. How was that process? How did you get involved in the ground level of that?
Okay, so we were doing research for like where to launch this thing, and we were also involved in a project called Bitcoin Fund. This is the world's first Bitcoin fund, which is literally Bitcoin in an institutionalized, securitized form. We were the first in the world to launch one, a year before Pantera Capital actually. This fund has IC in it's on Bloomberg, it's like the best top performing fund in the human history. And the thing is, it was launched out of Malta. So we already had a relationship with the Maltese authorities and exposure and a track record. So they asked us to come and help shaping this legal framework. And I specifically wanted to be focused around digital assets to reclassify them as a new type of asset.
Wow, Gregory, that's quite impressive. You are truly at the forefront of innovation here in Malta. So tell me, where can our viewers go if they want to learn more information on your product?
EURS.stasis.net. Please feel free to check all the list of partners and liquidity endpoints. Stasis.net is the main website. So if you want to book, email at book@stasis.net your physical address. We'll happy to mail you one. And then, Stasis.net is a general address. You can find our contact details. We welcome all participants to our ecosystem. To some extent, we've built what Libra is architected, because we have a network of participants and several entities governing the process. So we already have 7, of course not 100 as they envision, licensed financial intermediaries, but that number grows. I hope next year it will be double digit. And we welcome all interested parties who are interested in the digital asset marketplace, interested in regulation, and would be willing to compete with US dollar with us.
Yeah, that's awesome, Gregory. Thanks for taking the time and coming on with us today.
Okay.
Take care.